On today's show, has the LA Clippers ceiling changed now that we've won 7 out of our last 8 games? And after that performance against the Cleveland Cavaliers, going to be talking about it all on today's Locked On Clippers.
You are Locked On Clippers, your daily Los Angeles Clippers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, sir. You were locking in with the Clips. Thank you for making Locked On Clippers the first listen of your day, your team every day. I'm your host, Darian Vaziri, born and raised in LA in my 20th season as a Clipper fan, 5th season covering the Clippers on my own personal YouTube Dime Dropper, and 3rd right here on the Locked On Podcast Network covering your LA Clippers. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and hit the notification bell for both channels. And of course, listen to Locked On Clippers wherever you get your podcast. We also have a newsletter. Your favorite podcast has a newsletter written by yours truly. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com, and start your day with the all-new free Locked On Clippers newsletter. And this episode is brought to you by FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. During March Madness, it's the best time to bet. Visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. In this episode, we're going to be speaking about if the Clippers' ceiling is different after we've seen these last 8 games where we've won 7 of them. That performance against the Cleveland Cavaliers was arguably the best of the season. For me, the best. And then what we can be in terms of what really is our ceiling, and then what has to happen to reach our ceiling. So let's get into it like the dome. Starting with, has our ceiling changed? Now, that comes down to what you think our ceiling is and what people's expectations for the Clippers have been this year. And from all the fans I've interviewed and all the actual Clipper fans I've talked to, not talking about the player fans, just the fans of the team that I've spoken to at games and I guess online, it seems like everybody's of the same belief that we just want to make it to the playoffs, get there with a healthy Kawhi, doesn't matter what seed, and let the chips fall where they may and see if we can do something with a healthy Kawhi, because we haven't had a healthy Kawhi in a playoff series since 2021. And to be honest, if that's what was the ceiling, where it's like, let's just get to the first round and see what we can do, I would probably have to agree with those fans and think that that's how I'd be looking at things. And that's how I've been looking at things this season. I never expected us, without Kawhi for so long, to be a top 6 seed. We kind of fell out of that. Although you can make the argument that when Kawhi came back, we kind of fell out of that. But we overachieved, in my opinion, without Kawhi Leonard this season. We completely overachieved. And of course, that has a lot to do with the big three of Harden, Zoo, and Norm. The person I was most impressed by, in terms of surprised by, I've said over and over again, is Norm. Harden is Harden. He is an all-timer. Zoo is a growing player. I definitely, the last couple of weeks, I've been so impressed with Zoo to the point where I didn't quite expect him to be this good. But I knew he'd take a leap this season naturally with the loss of Paul George and Kawhi being out for so long. As far as the defense, the supporting cast, they've been even better than I thought. Coaching staff as well. But overall, Norman Powell has been the most surprising one for me, and we've overachieved. But if I had to answer the question, has our ceiling changed because of these last couple of performances? I don't think it has. I think it's fair to say that you could be a little bit more confident, and we're starting to see the vision form of what this team could look like with Kawhi Leonard looking at his best or playing like his best. James Harden being the James Harden we've seen all season long, that doesn't have to do as much. It can take some more possessions off or lessen his workload throughout a game with these guys. And then Norman Powell, if it's a Zubac thrown into the mix, with Zoo playing the best basketball of his career, what can the ceiling be? Obviously, a team that can make some noise. But for the answer to the question for me is no, it hasn't. I still think we got to stay even keel. And I think the team is thinking that as well. Just one game at a time. We're not even guaranteed anything in the playoffs or even to make the playoffs. What we need to do is secure a playoff spot. And right now, we look at the standings ahead of this game against Memphis tonight on Friday night at the Intuit Dome. I sadly will not be there. I have my 3rd All-Star game for girls to coach tonight at Obama Rec Center. So Memphis. We've had some real success against Memphis this season, 2-0 against them. One of the games at Intuit Dome on February 12th. The other one was that road game where I said in December I thought that was the best win of the season at that point. Almost positive I was at the Memphis game. Yeah, I was. When Luke Kennard came back. That's right. I was at the Memphis game. That was a solid win, 128-114. To go 3-0 against them, going into what I hope is a potential playoff series against them, that would be great. Winning 8 out of our last 9 games would look really badass given the stretch of the season that we're in. And we need to take every win that we can get. We got 13 games left. Every single game is a chance for Norman Powell, Kawhi Leonard, Zubats, and Harden to build chemistry with the 4 of them playing at their best, because we still haven't had the combination of all 4 of them playing at their best. As far as the ceiling of the team, the standings is what I was looking for. I mean, right now we're 39-30, and we're in the 7th spot. The Golden State Warriors are 41-29. So let's say the Golden State Warriors were to lose their next game. That would make them, let's see. Oh, okay. After tonight's game, the Clippers, let's say we're 40-30. We'd only be 1 game behind the Warriors. So we're right there. We're still very much in play for that 6th seed. Memphis has dropped to 5. But they're separated by only 2 games in the loss column to the 2-seeded Rockets. So for me, I just don't want to see the Nuggets or the Lakers in the first round. I honestly think our matchup with the Nuggets is better. But staying away from the best player in the NBA and then the Laker monster that's going to be ticket prices that are so expensive that I'll just have no money left. And I honestly might not have a heart left because it'll have exploded from, getting anxiety and losing my mind against the Lakers in a playoff series. That would make me lose it. So I want to see Memphis. I would like to see Houston. If you're the Clippers, though, you should not think how I'm thinking. It doesn't matter. We should be ready to play anybody. We just want to go into the playoffs playing the best version of Clipper basketball. And as far as I said, the answer to my question, no, the ceiling doesn't change. We still got to try to secure a spot in the playoffs. That 6th seed, that should still be the goal with these 13 games left, and then we'll take it from there. But 7 seeds in the play-in era have never missed the play-in game. So if we get that 7th seed and we host a game at Intuit, we're going to make it a fortress. And you know what's something to say about Intuit right now? 24-10. That is a pretty good home record. That is a better home record than anyone below us. That is a better home record than the Golden State Warriors. And the other teams that have a very good home record are the Lakers, the Grizzlies. Not the Nuggets, honestly. They're 23-11, so we have a better home record than them, than the Rockets and the Thunder. So I just think we got to stay the course, take it 1 game at a time, keep playing Clipper basketball. But coming up, what can we be at our best? What glimpses did we see in that last game that can make us say, we can be even better than initially expected? Going to be talking about that coming up. I got to tell you a little something about Upwork. Scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more. Experts ready to help you take your business to the next level. Upwork gives business flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries, including IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple and affordable. If you need help with a marketing campaign, Upwork can connect you with a freelance expert who delivered incredible results. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com, to connect with top talent and grow your business today. I got to tell you a little something about FanDuel. March Madness is here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can bet $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's 200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories, and even who's cutting down the nets. Is it going to be Florida? Is it going to be Auburn? Is it going to be Duke? Who's going to win the women's side? Is it going to be South Carolina again? Is it going to be UCLA? Is it going to be USC? Is it going to be UConn? I've got my eye on UCLA and USC and everything. So visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. All right, back here to talk about the Clippers and what our ceiling can be. Has it changed since basically that game against the Cavs, honestly? We were just so good in that one. You started to see all the big guns looking great. And there's an interesting stat. The last 10 games, the Clippers are 10th in defense. So, of course, maybe not right where we want it to be, but still top 10. Number 3 in offense. And remember, for the season, we've been top 5 in defense, all season long. All season long. But our offense coming around, that has a lot to do with Bogdan Bogdanovic, Kawhi Leonard, and our recent three-point shooting. In terms of season offensive rating, we're 18th. We're actually below average. But we're top 3. We're 3rd in the last 10 games. And again, it has a lot to do with the recent three-point shooting. And a lot of that is bogey. But Kawhi is starting to look better. You're just getting another offensive option. Bogdanovic is a better offensive option than Terrence. So this stuff all matters, right? This stuff all matters. Defensive rating-wise, we're 3rd in the league. We just keep fluctuating back and forth with the Magic. We're actually in the Rockets. We're tied at 109.5, us in Orlando, and then the Rockets are 109.6. So I think we'll finish top 4. It's just a matter of who's going to finish 2, 3, and 4 with Orlando, us, and Houston. But being a top 4 defensive team, we're 10th the last couple of weeks. We've had some guys in and out. It's not the end of the world. If we're top 10 in both categories, those are the teams that win championships. And if we're talking about being a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense, then we do have a chance to win a championship. Now let's think about the actual Clipper roster when fully healthy. If Kawhi Leonard's playing like that, he looks like that guy that was a number 1 option on a championship team. Or honestly, I have to be quite honest. That was a little too much honest. But I saw some highlights across my Twitter timeline the other day, 2019 Kawhi, and you can just tell he's just moving different. Even though he's been moving better in like that last game, I'm talking about he's moving differently to even last year's All-NBA version or even the year before. So he's not that guy anymore. He's still great. Well, when I say that guy, I don't mean like that guy. Like he is still, what we saw that last game, that's that guy. What we saw last year, All-NBA player, that's that guy. What I mean by that guy, I mean is the exact same guy that was that healthy pre-ACL tear. It's not like that was a small injury for a guy who already has knee problems. So I think he's a step slower than that. So I'm not going to sit here and say with certainty to all the Clipper fans, and I've said this since I started, I believe Kawhi Leonard is the best is still capable of being the best part of a championship team if he is healthy. But that's me with being confident about Kawhi and his game. There's no evidence really behind that because the fact is that he's not as quick and as athletic as that 2019 version. You just got to use your eyes and go to the footage, which is normal for a guy that's coming off an ACL tear. But if I had to bet, I still think this version of Kawhi, if he continues at the progression that we're seeing right now and basically becomes the player we saw last year, that guy still can be a number 1 option, I think, on a championship team. And maybe you can say I'm a little delusional if you're another team's fan for me thinking that, but Clipper fans won't disagree with that. I think we've all believed that when Kawhi's on the court, we'll take our chances with him. Harden as a second option, this is where it gets a little dicey. I don't like when Harden is the sole second scoring option on a championship team at this stage of his career. I think if he's the second best player, that's fine. But I would like Norman Powell, ideally, or Zoo to average more points than him, just because I feel like when he goes ISO, it can be really great, but it can also, when his 3 ball is not falling against really good defenses in the playoffs these days, because he's not getting to the basket the same way against the really good defenses, like he used to. And when the step back 3 is not falling, you get some really inefficient games. And what happens is it's a lot of possessions. It's a lot of dribbling and everybody standing around. I think if James doesn't have to be relied on so much to score with Zoo and Norm there, and him still being the second best player overall. I think 4 guys averaging 15 plus points, one guy averaging 25 plus. You got another guy averaging around 2 guys averaging around 20, really 3 guys averaging around 20, and we have our defense behind us. Why aren't we in the championship conversation? There's not that many great teams in the league. There's a lot of good teams in the league. There's not that many great teams in the league. The Denver Nuggets are not a great team right now. They have not been a great team this season. They've been good because Jokic is amazing and Westbrook's been a good addition for them. And Murray's had some good months. But like their defense has not been great. Aaron Gordon's missed time. He hasn't looked as good in terms of defense when he's been playing. KCP's not there anymore. Christian Brown's starting, so now he's not coming off the bench. They have, I don't know about them. Like Jokic's defense looks suspect at times. They're not a great team to me. OKC's a great team. The Lakers have potential to be a great team. I think when healthy, they're dangerous, really dangerous, because those 3 guys, Reeves, LeBron, and Luka, they can create a plethora of open shots for you throughout the course of a game. But that's it. I think the Timberwolves are good. I think the Warriors are good. I think the Grizzlies and the Rockets are good. There's only one great team in the whole conference. That's the honest truth. In the East, the Cavs are great and the Celtics are great. The Knicks are good, very good. There's not that many great teams. Because you know what it is? There's so much roster. Like the Cavaliers have been together a couple of years now, 3 years now with this core. The Thunder have really built, through that Clippers trade, our trade, and then naturally with SGA, with Chad, Jalen Williams. The Celtics have grown together. And honestly, it's the homegrown. The homegrown is still winning. So what our ceiling can be, I don't think we can win a championship being, you know what I always say, Clipper Nation, top 3 seed. But I really do believe we can win a series given the right matchup. And honestly, this is the biggest if. It's just I can't put my faith on Kawhi staying healthy for a full series. But if he were, hypothetically, I could even see us going to the conference finals with this team. I really think this team's ceiling could be that great. We're built the way we finally should have been built in a sense. Because Paul George and Kawhi was redundant. We now have a guy in a secondary role with Harden that's just way different than Kawhi. It gives us something a little different. Paul George is different, but a lot of his weaknesses are similar and his strengths are somewhat similar, and they're both score-first wings that are not great passers. Kawhi's just better at almost everything, but Paul George is a better aesthetically pleasing, a little more nimble, more agile, I'd say, and works quicker off the catch. But yeah, basketball-wise, it's no debate. But anyway, what has to happen for us to reach that ceiling, though, to be a team that potentially could win a round or two? Going to be talking about that coming up. I got to tell you a little something about 5-hour energy. Daylight savings snuck up on us again. And if you're feeling that last hour of sleep, 5-hour energy has your back. The extra sunshine means more time for fun, but sometimes you need a little boost to power through. Whether you're staying up late watching the NCAA tournament, squeezing in a round of golf after work, or just trying to keep up with your busy day, 5-hour energy gives you that quick, refreshing pick-me-up whenever you need it. I've been staying up late to do so many things for my All-Stars tournament, watch tape, upload tape for them, and still do the Clippers stuff. 5-hour energy helps keep me up the next day. Head to 5hourenergy.com to find over 15 flavors to choose from, including watermelon, blue raspberry, and peach mango. You can even build your own 12-pack or 24-pack delivered right to your door. Need one now? Grab a 5-hour energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store. They're everywhere. Stock up today and stay energized.
Tournament is here, and so is the Bracket Breakdown.
Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup.
Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free.
It's your team every day.
All right, so to close it out, what can the Clippers do to get that best version? I think it all begins with just more games with Norman Powell healthy. This season, Norm has missed 21 games, which is honestly a really decent chunk, and we're still 39-30. He's averaging 23 points a night, and he's still shooting 49, 42, 82 splits on the season. But we haven't seen that Norman Powell in quite some time. The last time he scored over 11 points, he scored 41 points at Utah before the All-Star break. He hasn't really been the same since after the All-Star break. So essentially, since Kawhi Leonard has become closer to the Kawhi Leonard that we know and love, he hasn't really been Norman Powell that we know and love. Those Laker games we played, Norm, he basically didn't play in either of them. And someone like me, I got to talk to myself on this. I was pretty harsh on those losses. It's like, do we realize how big Norman Powell was for this team the first half of the season? So I think that was what we need to see first. The Kawhi, Harden, Zoo, Bogey, the way Bogey's playing right now, Chris Dunn, Derek Jones, these guys have been awesome all year. I think that team could honestly win a round. But to win 2 rounds, maybe, I think we're going to need Norm. We might need him to just win a round. And again, this is still me speaking prematurely, but I'm putting my faith in this team that we're going to make the playoffs. James Harden's never missed the playoffs. He's going to continue that record and honestly solidify at least an All-NBA third-team spot, in my opinion, this season for him, even though a lot of his detractors will say that this, his efficiency hasn't been good enough. But when you look at true shooting, it's not that bad for him. And 22.5 points, given the load he's had to carry. He's getting the best defender almost every single night. 9 assists per game it's almost, if you round up, it's 40% now. So he's increased his efficiency a little bit. And then 34 from 3, 87 from the foul line. He still gets to the foul line 7 times a night. He's just led by example all season long, and he's been available. That's been the most amazing thing. He's only missed 3 games this entire season at age 35 with the mileage that he carries and the way that he plays. I mean, that really is remarkable. So, and then Zoo is doing his Zoo thing, 16 points a game, 13 rebounds. I don't want to see that stat line look because the last 10 games, he's averaging 21.5 points and 12 boards. I want him to be continuing to trend upwards from that 16 and 12, not down if Norman Powell comes. We should not change anything about the way Zoo's playing. So you look at his month of March right now, Ivica Zubats, 21.5 points, 12 rebounds on 65% shooting. It's been his best month, his highest scoring month by far. So we love to see that from Zoo. And then, as I said, Kawhi Leonard, the month of March has been really good for him as well. He's trending in the right direction. Last 10 games, he's averaging 25 points a game, Clipper Nation. And he hasn't even looked that crazy to like the last couple of games. 25 points, 6.5 boards, 3 assists on 51, 40, 75 split. So the only thing I don't like there is the free throw shooting, but 51-40, we're starting to look at Kawhi Leonard, ladies and gentlemen. 25 points a game in the last 10. And in the month of March, 25 points a game. It's like 8 games in the month of March for Kawhi. So, yeah. Amazing. Last 10 games averaging 25, month of March averaging 25. So all we need, the last piece of the puzzle, Norman Powell back, playing his best. We got 13 games to get it right. You saw what they said. If you haven't checked out the Locked On NBA West Squad show, go check that out. They were saying, what does any team have to play for? Everyone's just banged up. Psych, we were banged up. We're going to try to get healthy, make that run, and then you are going to see a playoff crowd at Intuit Dome like you've never seen in a Clipper game before in the playoffs, and you are going to love it, NBA fans and Clipper Nation, and other teams are going to hate it. Please give me Memphis. Please give me Memphis. Please give me Memphis. Honestly, after this game on Friday night, we need to beat Memphis, but we need them to win more games. And we need the Lakers to lose more. We need the Rockets to lose more and the Nuggets to lose more. We need Memphis either to be the 3 seed or the 2 seed. I prefer them to be the 3 seed and we're the 6. And then maybe Houston gets the 2. That would be so nice. Houston, Golden State, first round. And we can play the winner of that in the second round while the Lakers and the Nuggets have a bloodbath. Okay, that would be great. Anyway, You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dime Dropper Pod. Subscribe to my own YouTube channel, Dime Dropper, for even more LA Clipper and LA sports content. And Locked On Clippers is free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, we now have a newsletter. LockedOnDaily.com is where you can find it and sign up for it. It really helps your boy. So keep supporting. I see that we're 300 subscribers away from 7,000. I said we got to get to 7,000 before the playoff starts because guess what? We're going to be in them. Let's do this. Clipper Nation, keep on subscribing. Keep on telling your friends. You already know what it is. Your team every day. Your LA Clippers. The age-old proverb continues. Have fun and hold it down at Intuit Dome tonight for me. Clipper Nation, the age-old proverb continues. Go Clippers.